Hi. This is take two. Um, and how I started the last one, I'll try to start the exact same way. Um, Take one, I mean the last one. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you have as few subscribers as I do, you listen to your subscribees. Or subscribers, I guess they're still called subscribers. Anyway, if they have an idea for a video, you're going to want to honor that and do the video. And I have been asked to recommend the 7 best summer reading material books of Corona Samizdat. And I am going to do that right here and now. But first, I have to remind you that you can skip this ad in 3 days. Uh, the difficulty uh, of winnowing all the books down to 5 summer books is not all that difficult, especially if you decide 7 would be a better number. And the reason it would be 7 is because 2 books are very specific to certain places. If you're going to Prince Edward Island, you're going to want to take Jeff Bursey's Unidentified Man at left of photo. Now keep in mind, when you go to a place like Prince Edward Island, there are certain things you're going to want to do, but you got to fill up, your 16, 17 hours a day that aren't spent sleeping. And if you have this book along, you might be in the book, you might see the guy who's writing the book, you might see characters who are in the book. It's the kind of book where you're not really sure, who the author is. It's probably not you, but it might be. Anyway, that's all I'll say about it. There is some mystery attached, but it would be a lot of fun if I went to Prince Edward Island. Well, I might go just to read this there someday. Okay? Now, the other specific book is if you're going to visit Slovenia, the Adriatic coast in Slovenia, you're going to want to go to Isla, because there are only 3 Venetian-style towns on the coast, and one of them is Isla. And Wandering Stone, The Streets of Old Isla, is the book to take with you. We have in here a map with numbers of places that are mentioned in the book. First one I would go to is the Dog Beach. You'll probably end up there either way. If you want to swim, you're going to be curious. Let me see this Dog Beach. It's an interesting circumstance. But you also have 275 photos. And it would be a lot of fun to go to, let's say, there. Where was that photo taken? It'd be kind of fun to have the book and say, oh yeah, I see it now. The clothes isn't hanging out, but I see, the way the roof's going. There's that chimney there, and that'd be a blast, I think. And it would be easy to do because it's the arranged by street numbers. Like if you want to see this, go to Venice, you'll see a bunch of them. But if you just want to see this one, go to Isola and Martin Kirpan Street, unless that was part of the previous chapter, which would be Triet. No, it's Martin Kirpan Street. And you can say, yeah, that's it. So those are the specific ones. Now, the 5, anywhere you go, I'm going to be, I'm going to call it beach reading, but you don't have to be at a beach. Just summer reading. Well, the first one I'm choosing is David Vardaman's flip book, because you have 2 short novels. Summer is a time for short novels for a lot of people. And one of them is not so short. It's a couple hundred pages. But a gripping psychological I don't want to use the word thriller, but it's a literary, because it's a literary book, but it's a pretty interesting book, and it's called Suddenly This Summer. And if you don't like it, or if you love it and rip right through it, you don't have to go get another book. You just turn it over, and you've got April is the Cruelest Month, which is as wacky as it gets. And so you've got two very different kinds of books by the same writer. And also, there would be a problem, because when a lot of people are self-conscious when they're on the beach. And, so if you're reading this book on the beach, and you're going kind of slow because it's, reading under the sun and so on, or a shade umbrella, you don't really read as rapidly as you do in a library, say, or at your bedside, or at your desk, or in your car while you're driving, which you should never do. It's as dangerous as being on the phone. Anyway, if you're on the beach and you're self-conscious, you're reading this book, and then later you're still reading this book, only you're reading it upside down, and people are going, wait a minute, he's faking it. He's reading it upside down. Well, probably they're not paying that close attention, and even if they are, this is, Suddenly This Summer reading, okay? This is my number one choice for summer reading. My number two is only number two because it's limited to baseball fans. And it's a big book, but it's in diary form. This is Walk Like a Duck, a season of Little League Baseball in Italy. This is a great summer book because it's written in a summer way. Actually, it starts in March, but it was written in diary form, and it, like your mind does in the summer, it wanders from bloody fascist death to little kids running on a ball field. And so it's if you're a baseball fan, definitely this one. And I wrote it, but and I know I wrote Wandering Stone. So you may be thinking, okay, it's his own books, yeah. But no, I'm being honest about this. That's it for my books. The rest of my books, I wouldn't call them necessarily summer books. Go ahead and read them if you want to in the summer. But when we're talking about beach reading, we're also talking about short books. And we're also talking about a lot of laughs. Now, if you want a lot of laughs and you want to learn something, and you want to have John Kennedy's penis and Henry Kissinger eating the head of a baby, Chandler Brossard's Raging Joy, Sublime Violations would be a fantastic one. It's very funny. It's very to the point in many cases, historically quite accurate, and historically nonsensical in some places. But the actual Vietnam stuff is, written with a sublimated raging joys. And I never made that connection before, but that's a good thing about talking about the same book ad infinitum. Short book, fun book. You can read it again and again, which is good for a summer book because you might have only remembered to take one book, and you want something you can read again and again. Highly recommended. Now, that leaves, that's actually 5 right there, but 3, the 3, again, to reiterate, 1, the Vardaman Flip, 2, Walk Like a Duck, Baseball in Italy, 3, Raging Joy, Sublime Violation, 4, Tenderlopolis, if you're sitting on a male or female, if you're sitting on a beach and you're single, and you want to kind of signal, your willingness or your need or your desire, what better than a dirty book? Now, this is erotic literature. It's extremely good literature by Vesna Radic, pseudonym. But, as you can see from the cover and the frontispiece and a couple of drawings inside, this is kind of like a pseudo-Victorian naughty book. But it is an epistolary novel, and it's very interesting and mysterious, and the writing is supremo. In case you go to Italy, supremo, So, but you can signal, like, I'm open, I'm willing, But that's again that maybe that I'm thinking too much about how I am on the beach. Well, no, I'm not single, and I don't really read on the beach much. I mean, I can just go swim and come home and read. But some people like a big, fat novel to take on their vacation. But they want it to be something that's, it's worthwhile, it's literary, but they don't want it to be Ulysses. They don't want to have to concentrate too much. They want it to be accessible. So not childlike, but accessible. Let me just read something from this one at random. The day before, after reaching the decision to subject Fergus to the experimental procedure of indoctrination assisted debriefing, he, the doctor, and the two OAI agents had walked into Fergus's room. At the sight of his son's blissfully sleeping face, you see, it's not really dense writing. It's very pleasant writing, actually, and very, very funny. You want it to keep your attention. This satirical novel, which is written by Bori Proctor and is called Cynicism Management, is a great summer book. Maybe I should have said this first. That I was thinking more along the lines of short ones. But if you're up for a longer one, this would be, probably as good as you could do. From any press. From our press, I think this is our best big summer book. Now, I have a big summer book, but it's a trilogy. It's 3 novels, and and it's it's dark satire, and you don't need that shit. It's funny. The Driftless trilogy is very funny, but do you want dark satire? Actually, this is pretty dark, but it's lighter on the surface. Underneath, yeah, sure, it's dark, but it's when you're doing a satirical novel about the Western world, yeah, it's gonna be dark, but it's fun, it's funny. There's a tattoo on a butt that you'll never forget, and many other things that you'll never forget. And for next summer, there's Pendulum Pet, the second in the trilogy. So I think we're calling, I don't know what we're calling it, I can't remember now. The Cynicism Trilogy, I think we're calling it. Yeah, I think we decided on that, me and the author. He lives on the Canary Islands. He's probably reading this right now on the beach. So there you go. Summer reading from Corona Samizdat. Take my advice.